Hello and good day. Today, just kind of want to give an update about Lexus's wholesome living experience, what I've been experiencing, and how it relates into wholesome living. And what I've recently been experiencing, it's really fascinating because I'm here in Greece now, and everything's much more chill. It's more laid back. And I feel like a lot of people would probably get bored. I mean, I've had moments where I've wondered, am I bored right now? Or what am I experiencing? Because I'm not, some of these moments, like I'm not doing anything but sitting or just chilling, just hanging out and spending time with a couple local people and sometimes talking and sometimes not, literally just sitting. And sometimes it seems strange and odd because of where I've come from in the city, where everybody's always doing something. And it's been a really fascinating experience. I've gone through so many different emotions. I've processed through so many deep things within me just from chilling, just from sitting or laying down or finding a spot and laying down and then all of a sudden taking a nap and realizing that I was tired. I was tired from a lot of the stuff I was doing, the travels and everything. And just honoring that and telling myself that's okay. Like, it's okay that I'm just here right now. Because it's not always going to be this way. And each day is different. Some days I'm out in the field and I'm working and being with the land and doing some more of this different kind of work and then doing stuff online as well. But then also honoring myself when I don't feel like I want to do those things or when I don't have the inspiration and being like, well, that's okay right now. Like, it's okay right now. It's okay always, wherever you are at. When the inspiration comes, to flow with the inspiration. And when it's not there, to just accept how you feel. Just accept where you're at in that moment. And not trying to force anything. I mean, I could force myself to do certain things, but then I think about it and I think about how chill I am feeling right now in this place, in this space, and then I don't force it. If I felt like I had some crazy deadline or I felt like I had to, work really hard to do it, then sure, I could totally get whatever done. But then I'm also just allowing the inspiration, allowing the feelings to be and to let it flow. Which is also really interesting. And sometimes I feel like I want to do something else, but then I'm just practicing the compassion for myself and where I'm at. And yeah, I wasn't going to say this, but I'm just going to say it. Like, not beating ourselves up about it, like so many times, like we beat ourselves up about these things, like, oh, I need to do this, and then we make ourselves feel some kind of way. And I'm not doing that. And I feel like I'm healing a lot within myself for what my reactions may have been in the past, because I'm allowing the space to just be. Oh, and it's so nice to relax into that. Because it also is with who we surround ourselves by. Before, I even had a moment like a month and a half, maybe a month and a half ago or something, where, I had an anxiety attack. And there was so many things that it built up, and it was also influenced by the people that I was surrounding myself with. I was putting a lot of pressure on myself, and just so much pressure. And then the pressure, like, it broke, and I had this anxiety attack, and it was so intense. And I hadn't had an anxiety attack in maybe 6 months or something like that, back from when I was working at that last job that I recently left. And I was getting anxiety attacks like almost every day at one point, because I was so under pressure. And I think that's the huge lesson that I'm learning right now, is to just release that pressure, release the pressure that we put on ourselves from ourselves and from our environment. And how can we find environments, how can we find places where we don't feel that pressure, or like that over pressure, right? And how do we find these environments where we have an outlet? We have the outlet to process through these things before an outbreak happens, before the depression sets in. Or maybe we feel depressed for a day, and then we recognize how low we feel, and then we have the resources, we have the community, or we have the space to be able to understand, where is this coming from? And then we can relax and let be, and find the acceptance in ourselves as we are. With this compassion, the compassion of just loving ourselves and loving this experience. And I feel like the compassion is like just the most important part of all of this, is relaxing into that compassion, releasing into compassion, feeling the compassion for yourself and for others. And when we do that, that's when we stop beating ourselves up for things. That's when we take these, we can start to rewire our brain. We can start to, rewire our cells within us. Because, wow, yeah, maybe that's what I feel like I'm doing here right now with this whole relaxing and chilling thing. Like, I'm rewiring my brain, rewiring the cells within my body to not have this stressful response, I suppose you could say. And just practicing that compassion and being like, it's all okay. Like, it's all good. You know, we're here having this experience, whatever the experience is that's being gifted, that's being handed, that's being shown to you, that you are going through right now, good or bad. It's an experience that's molding us always, each and every one of them that we have. It leaves an impact and an imprint, but then it's also up to us to decide what kind of imprint that's going to be. What are we going to take from it? How are we going to learn and grow from it? And then come back to center, come back to who we are, to be our own self. And it's so interesting because we are a communal type of species. Like, we are here to be with each other in community, in society. We like being close to people. And I think that's one of the things that I'm kind of going through right now, is not having that. And maybe that's something new that is really, really important for us to experience at times, is kind of a type of seclusion or a type of isolation, but the right kind. When I was living in the city, I mean, I was surrounded by so many people, but I was isolating myself in a bad way, because I wanted to be with people, and because there was so much I wanted to do, but then I wasn't doing it, and then I was beating myself up about it. And that goes into the pressure thing, right? Like, I was putting so much pressure on myself being in the city, because the more we have around us, the more influences, the more just stuff going on, the more pressure there is anyways. Especially in a place where you're gathering so many different kinds of people. And, you know, instead of like in a community where you're surrounded by people who eat the same way, who live the same way, who kind of have the same viewpoints or like outlooks on life in certain ways, right? But then you're still different. Like, everyone's still always different, but you have some baseline societal, cultural norms, you could say, right? And in those situations, I feel like the pressure kind of comes off a bit, and then we can release into more inspiration through what's around us, through the environment and the surroundings. But when we're in such a place of stress, of pressure, because there's all of these different things telling us to be this way, do that, etc., and everyone's saying different things, and then we get confused because we're communal beings. And it's, you know, I feel like it's going to be so nice when more people understand that we need to progress in sustainability with like this baseline thinking of sustainability, because I feel like that's going to take so much pressure off of a lot of people, because it's so important, and we won't have to be any sort of way like on that fundamental way of being. You know, like, I think it's weird that I have to like tell people, no, I don't need a straw, I don't need the plastic lid, I don't need that. Like, here, use my mug, you know, and save the plastic. And people think I'm weird, or I'm like checking out with groceries, and I'm like, no, it's okay. Like, I don't need a bag. I have a bag, or I can just carry it. And people think it's strange right now. And